Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go through and rule out breeders and our rabbitry. Now, if you've been following along, you know we had a rough start to our breeding season. We had rabbits that didn't want to breed. We had rabbits who bred but didn't have babies. We had our main breeding buck pass away from an unknown illness. One of our main breeding does passed away from an obstruction. It was a hot mess. And then I went out and bought a bunch of new rabbits at auction, and we had a whole bunch more breeders to deal with. A little too many breeders, actually. So we kind of had to narrow them down. Now my goal for our breeding program is to have rabbits who breed easily, who are not aggressive during breeding, who are good parents, who have good sized litters, who throw large kits, all of the things. And the only way to get those qualities is to breed for those qualities and cull the rabbits that do not show the qualities that we are looking for. So today we are putting the breeders we have to the test. We are going to see how easily they breed, how long it takes us to breed them, if they have any issues breeding, and if they will even breed at all. And then we will take those answers and determine whether we will keep that rabbit or whether we will cull that rabbit. And we're going to give you all of that in this video today. Now, some of these rabbits we have had a long time. One of them, Nosy Rosie, was one of our first rabbits we've ever bought. So, we are going to have to really get down and dirty in this and see what rabbits are worth continuing in our breeding program. Now, if you are new around here and you are just now finding my video, hi, I'm Megan, and over here at Living the Height Life, we have an off-grid homestead where we feed our meat rabbits on a foraged, grown, whole food style diet. So throughout our breeding, we also cull rabbits who do not do well on that style of diet. We don't do a whole bunch of like commercial rabbit pellets or anything. We started out that way. There's nothing wrong with it, but we prefer to be a little more self-sustainable, and we can't make those at home. So instead we focus on things we can make or grow at home, and that's what we feed our rabbits. And we also breed for rabbits who do really well on that kind of diet. So you will see our rabbits, you will see how they look, you will see that they are healthy on their diets, but throughout our meat rabbit breeding season, you will also see, if you stay tuned and watch those videos, don't forget to subscribe, that we will cull rabbits throughout the process or keep rabbits throughout the process who thrive on that style of diet. That's what we do around here. We are glad to have you here with us. If you're not new around here, welcome back. I'm glad to have you around also. In this video, we're going to show us breeding them. Now, side note, not all of these rabbits were bred on the same day. They were bred one day after another, each rabbit bred on its own day. That way we can make sure the buck wasn't tired out or, just grumpy from breeding too much or anything like that. We wanted everybody to have a fair shot. So you'll see that, but we're just going to go through all of the data today. So first rabbit up for breeding is Moretta. So Moretta is our black rabbit. She was actually found in a park. Somebody had obviously let their domesticated rabbits just go in the park, thinking that, I guess, they would thrive in the wild, which domesticated rabbits will not. Please don't do that. She was captured in the park and offered up to us on Facebook by somebody who follows our page. We were very excited to go get her. She is a beautiful rabbit, solid black, but unknown history, unknown breed. We don't know her age. We don't know if she's ever bred before. We don't know anything about her. So it's a complete mystery on how she will do in the breeding process. So let's see how Moretta does.
Wrong side.
Look, Mama.
So not off to the best start with Moretta. Some aggression issues. They were really, really bad when we tried to breed her with Jackson. I don't know, man. She did much better when we bred her to Flour, who is our red eye white breeding buck that we got at auction. Still some aggression. We've only got 2 fall-offs with her. Our goal is always 3, and it took an hour to breed her. So she will stay in our breeding lineup. We will give her one more chance. Sometimes the aggression can be because a rabbit hasn't been bred, and we don't know if she's ever been bred. So I'm hoping she does better the next time around. But we will give her another chance at breeding. She will not be culled at this time. So our next rabbit on our breeding list is Ruth. Ruth is a red-eye white. She is a mix between a Rex and a New Zealand. She is the kit of one of our original breeding does and of our original breeding buck. So if you remember Pretty Girl and Cadbury, those are both the breeders that we actually lost this past breeding season. If you remember both of those, Ruth is the kit from both of those. So we were very excited about her. She is a little on the smaller side, but I was really hoping to continue Pretty Girl's genetics because she had large litters. She was a great mom. She was a large size. I don't know why Ruth was so small because both Cadbury and Pretty Girl were larger. I don't know what happened there, but Ruth is, I mean, she's decent. She's a decent size. She's just not as big as I would want. So we did retain her. We did grow her up. We had not had any success previous to this in breeding her. I did attempt to breed her back to her father Cadbury without success. I've attempted to breed her to Jackson without success. So this attempt to breed her to Floor is our last attempt. If Ruth will not breed, she will not stick around. So let's see how she does. Yeah, we got her to breed. She got 2 fall-offs. Again, not the 3 that we hoped for, but she did get 2. It took 2 hours to get those fall-offs. Technically, she's a newbie because she has never successfully bred, never gotten a fall-off at all, so she didn't really know what she was doing. Ruth was not aggressive at all during her breeding. The problem is that she was too disinterested. She just wanted to lay there, and evidently our buck likes to chase. She didn't offer him that chase, so he wasn't very interested in her, and she wasn't very interested in it, and it took him a long time to get down to business. Whew, yeah. So Ruth did successfully breed. It was her first time breeding. She will get one more chance. We will let her stick around as long as she has a successful litter from this breeding. Hopefully she does. If not, sorry Ruth, you got to go. Okay, next on our breeding lineup is Lessa. Lessa is our gold tip steel. Lessa is the kit from our original rabbit, Nosy Rosie, and the original breeding buck, Cadbury. So together they made Lessa a gold tip steel. I love Lessa's fur. I don't know where the gold tips still come in there, but I was super excited with it. I really want to continue on those genetics just for fur quality. Lessa is not a big rabbit. Rex rabbits they're medium-sized rabbits. They're not very large for meat rabbits, but their fur is amazing. And Lessa took on after her mom in the fur department with Rex fur. So I really kept Lessa back mainly for fur and to be able to save her fur and tan it and to tan that for future kits that she raises up. Let's see how Lessa breeds for us and if she will continue on in our breeding program. Okay, so Lessa did give Floor a chase, which he seemed pretty interested in. She, again, was a virgin to the whole deal. I had attempted to breed her to Cadbury. I had attempted to breed her to Jackson. No success at all. Never seen a mount or a fall off or anything like that. Whew. Yeah, newbies. They just don't breed very well. So getting her first fall off took a while, but after that, she seemed to get the name of the game and she was more on it. We actually got 3 fall offs with Lessa. I really hope she was successful and carries a litter to term because she will continue on in our breeding program as of this moment. Now, my hope for Lessa is that with this litter, she will pass on some of her fur genetics, but pass on some of the size from the buck because the buck Flora is bigger than she is. And then we would keep the largest does with the best pelts from her litter for future breeding. And Lessa may not continue on in the breeding program, depending on how well she does and what size kits she produces for us. But for now, she is staying around. Okay, so Nosy Rosie, our next rabbit up for breeding, is actually the only one of our original rabbits we have left. She has been on the chopping block, or very close to it, many times, and I keep canceling it. I find some reason to keep her. So her last litter, she only had 2 kits, which is very, very small. They were large kits, but they were very small. But one of those is Lessa, who I've already told you grew out to be small. So she went from a very big kit to a very small adult doe. So for that, Nosy Rosie had a strike against her. And then she didn't want to breed. So another strike against her. And she's not the biggest rabbit. I mean, she's a Rex, and we were kind of getting away from Rex. Because while they were really good for pelts, they're not as good for meat because of their size. So she was on the chopping block for that. But her saving grace is that she has always been Kenneth's favorite rabbit. So we have, time after time, kept her when she should have already been culled from the program. She is a very sweet rabbit for the most part. Over food, she can get aggressive if you don't feed her fast enough, and she has been known to bite. So again, she should have been culled for that. Anyway, she's gotten too many chances. So let's see how well she breeds. So basically that's the nail in the coffin. She never bred for us. Not once. Didn't get a single fall off. Not at all. And Kenneth worked with her for over 2 hours. Next butcher date we have, Nosy Rosie is gone. So our final breeding doe is our beautiful red-eye white that I got at auction, who I have named Manali. If you watched our video where we had a surprise litter of rabbits, then you already know Manali had babies. But on top of that, we didn't know she was pregnant. When we bought her at auction, she had babies with her. And they were fairly young. I estimated them to be about 3 weeks old. And they did not transition well. The stress of being at an animal auction and then brought to us, and it just didn't do well, and they died. I think they had pneumonia. Babies just don't handle an auction house very well. It's too much stress. They're stuffed in boxes. It's just too much on them. So they all died. We wanted to rebreed her. We did rebreed her successfully to Floor. Had 3 fall-offs, I think. But the trigger is she had babies 18 days later, so they were not Flowers. So she was pregnant and still had successful fall-offs. And she was easy to breed with him. It's not like it was we don't force breed or anything like that. So it's not like it was a forced breeding. They bred very easily, 3 fall-offs in maybe 15 minutes. And she was pregnant. Because a rabbit gestation, 18 days is extremely premature, and those babies would not have made it. Her babies were a really good size. Most of them. She had a few runts, but most of them were a really good size. And she had 8 babies, 7 of which lived. 1 was stillborn, and she bred. So crazy. I don't even know how that happened. Now, there's some speculation that rabbits can get pregnant again if they've bred while pregnant, but that is most commonly occurred in hares, not domesticated rabbits. They are different species. Even our domesticated rabbits and our wild cottontail rabbits are different species. So what is true for one is not always true for another. Domesticated rabbits, I've heard reports like people saying, yes, this happened, and they had litters really close together, but I've never seen it actually documented anywhere, like as a scientific study where it's done in a controlled environment. Most people that I've seen say it are like at home rabbitry breeders and stuff. So I'm not sure if there's like, I don't know, maybe they messed up on their dates or, you know, something like that. You know, like, I don't know. So I don't really count those. I don't know that it could happen, but I don't know that it couldn't. So the runty ones from her could have been from her breeding with Floor, and they were premature, and that's why they were runty. And the one that was stillborn could have been, I don't know, but she bred while pregnant, which is crazy. However, we do know she will breed. We know she breeds easily, even while pregnant. So she's sticking around. She was actually our easiest one to breed out of this whole ordeal, and she was pregnant. Now, we had one buck that we were breeding to see if he's going to stick around, and that was Jackson. And unfortunately, he didn't do so well. So when we bred Jackson in the past, he has shown slight aggression issues, and I've tried to mitigate that by putting him in a new environment. Like when I stuck him in the rabbit colony, he had no aggression issues. He did not do anything. Did not act aggressive at all. They had no problems. He lived in there with them for a month where I was trying to let them do a natural breeding, and that was not successful. He never even tried to breed them as far as I could tell. We had no babies out of the deal. I'd never seen him try to breed or anything like that, so he got pulled out of the colony. But he never showed any aggression in there, which was really, really weird. But in the rabbit tractor, he was super aggressive during breeding. Every time we've attempted to breed him, he's gotten more aggressive. So for that reason, Jackson is being culled from our breeding program. We tried, guys. I did really want his genetics in our breeding line because he is our Tamook buck, you know, and he's bred for heat resistance, which I wanted in our breeders. And I wanted to continue in our rabbit genetics. However, other than size and them being bred for heat resistance, I haven't seen very good things out of him for Tamook, and he's kind of had some sick issues. So yeah, not great things. So he's removed from our breeding program. We no longer have a Tamook breeder, and we never successfully bred his genetics into our breeders because he wouldn't breed. So that's frustrating and a lot of wasted money. So that's where we are, guys. Nosy Rosie is out. Jackson is out. Moretta, Ruth, and Lessa are like on thin straws, but they are going to continue for now. Depending on how these litters go and how they are as mamas and how they breed again, you know, that will determine. But for now, they got a pass, but they are being watched and they have a warning under their names. Manali, our red-eye white that we got from auction, is the only one who has got a check by her name, and she will definitely continue on in our breeding program. We are super excited for her and hope she passes on her great genetics to her kits so they can continue on in the breeding program as well. Sometimes, folks, when you're breeding animals and you are trying to build up your breeding stock, you have to make some tough choices, and you have to cull rabbits, even if you like them, even if they're your favorites. It has to be done. Well, I guess it has to be done with any animals, not just rabbits, but for us, it's rabbits. We are building up a line of rabbits that is genetically great, good breeders, have good litters, you know, have great genetics, and do really well on forage. That is our goals. We will eventually offer them for sale, but for right now, we're not. Y'all are just along for the ride to see how this breeding goes. I mean, we've been working on this for a hot minute now, but it takes a while to get the good genetics built into your lines. And sometimes you have to scrap it and start over. And I feel like that's what we're doing right now, is like basically scrapping everything and starting from the beginning. We do have some of our breeders from last season that we've kept, Ruth and Lessa and see how they do. But basically, other than that, we're starting over, which sucks. But rabbits breed fast. They grow fast. We can, breed their babies fast. So it doesn't take long to build up a great line of rabbits. You just got to find the right rabbits to do it with. So we're still on the hunt. We're still building that lineup, and I'm glad to have y'all along for the ride. If you are into raising rabbits for meat, please make sure you check out our meat rabbit playlist. We have all kinds of videos on there to follow our meat rabbit journey, and I hope to see you around again next time. That's all I have for you today, friends. So until next time, bye. I will see you later.